Hi, this is Liz Presley with Tutor of Dragons. I'm here today to show you how to use your calculator for Algebra 1, specifically for quadratics. This is your calculator. As you can see, I have my screen blank. There are certain buttons that you should always know, and every time I do one of these videos, I'm going to teach it to you. First off, if you were to put in numbers and you want to clear it, this is your clear button. Clear it and it makes it go away. Now, ironically, I cleared that, but there's all my other history. So if I cleared all this, or if I go down to where it's not highlighted, it'll just scroll it up and make this screen clear. So today specifically, we're going to look at graphing quadratics, and we have specific things that we want to go find. The first of which is the maximum or the minimum, which is the same as the vertex. So I go to my y equals button right here, and there are actually 10, you can scroll down using your up and down, there are 10 different places that you can put in your quadratics. I'm going to do a simple one. We're going to do X. So here's your X button. And then I like to use this squared button because it makes it easier. You don't have to shift down to do the plus. And we'll do plus 2x minus 8. Okay, this is in standard form. You can go graph it. Now, currently see that my graph is not in the center. If you go to the zoom button and go to 6, it'll put it in that 10 by 10 shape. Okay. These points right here are known as my x-intercepts. On this graph in particular, these x-intercepts are indeed whole numbers or integers because the one's negative. However, some of your quadratics will not have whole numbers as your x-intercepts. And remember, x-intercepts are solutions, zeros, and roots. But most importantly, what we're trying to find today is this minimum. And because my a, that number in front of the x squared, is 1 in this case and is positive, my graph opens up. So when it opens up, that means I have the lowest point possible, which is a minimum. To find your minimum, see how you have all these blue buttons up here. So that means you have to hit the blue second key first, and then you go to the calc key. And some of your teachers will say second trace. I prefer second calc because it is the calculation that we're going to go find. I want to go to number 3 so I can actually press 3. Now I could also have scrolled down to it. My next thing is you need to learn to remember to read here, and it says left bound. So I want to be to the left of that vertex. So I'm to the left of it, and you can be to the left here, I can be to the left over here, I can be to the left all the way over here. And I can scroll back and forth, or a fun handy dandy trick is, I see that this is around -1, so I can just plug in -2 and hit enter, and that puts it in automatically. And then it says right bound. So as soon as I hit that enter key, it says right bound. So I want to scroll over to the other side. And again, I can scroll like this. And sometimes they're off the page. That scrolling is kind of scary. So again, I'm just going to put in 0 and see how these two little markers are right here. My minimum is indeed between them. So when it says guess, you're going to press enter and say, yes, do your job. And my minimum occurs when x is -1 and my y is -9. So when they ask you for your minimum value, it would be -9. Your minimum also tells you your range. So that means on this particular function, my range is going to be y is greater than or equal to -9. Now let's go and find our zeros, okay? So again, we go back to second calc. See where it says number 2 is 0. So we're going to press 2. Now again, it's left bound. You can only find one 0 at a time. So this 0 is approximately at 1, 2, 3, -4. So I'm going to plug in -5. And that was the left bound. Now it says right bound, so I want to go 2 over, so that's going to be -3. And see how this x-intercept is between those two carets right there. So I'm going to say yes, guess, do your job, and that gives me a 0 of -4. And then I would do it again the second time here, which means I need to start all over again. Second calc 0. And so this way I'm going to show you how to scroll. So we're going to scroll over. I want to be to the left of this. So on this side, everyone always asks me, well, should I be above it or below it? Don't worry about above or below. Think in terms of left and right. So you are now to the left of it. Press enter. Then it says now go to the right. So I'll use my right key to go to the right and press enter. Then it says guess. Yes, please do your job. And that 0 is at 2. Okay. Let's say the last thing that I want to teach you today is how to make your graph bigger. Some of your teachers are going to tell you to zoom in or zoom out, which is the zoom key. I will never tell you to do that. I want you to see this table, second table. So you're going to go to that table and then look to see. And when I scroll up, I see, oh, my lowest value is -9. But let's say I want to see something bigger. You can use these Y values to go, okay, that's where I need that Y to be. So I can go to my window and then change my X's and Y's. This is especially true when we're doing word problems and you might have maximums that occur in the thousands. So you can change your Y max to say 6,000. Now, if you were to do that, this Y scale or X scale, if I'm at 6,000, I want that scale to be at 100. So then when I graph it, even then I still got this very dark line. But see how this is still very low because my graph isn't going very far up in from -10 to 10 in terms of my X's. And let's say you make a mistake and you're like, oh no, this is wrong. Go back to Zoom, go to 6 standard, and you're back to your normal screen. That was just a very quick lesson on how to use your calculator for quadratics. Hope to see you soon.